saying that you're tired of all your empty habits. You want something that's deeper cause you're over the journey.
Hey guys, today's video is my everyday makeup and also my go-to foundation routine. So if in doubt, this is what I am wearing on my face. I wear this whether it be just to work, just to duck out for a little brunch or lunch. I wear it to events. It is just my go-to holy grail products. It's what I generally take traveling with me too. But this is what I essentially wear on a daily basis. It is a lot of makeup. It's not like a 15-minute makeup by any means, but when I've got a fresh fake tan on, I generally like to go with more of a full coverage base. And like ever since I started contouring, I can't live without contour, highlight, brows, mascara. Like I just can't. So this is what I wear on a go-to daily basis, and it's also just all my holy grail base products. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I achieve this makeup, then just simply keep on watching and I'll jump straight on into it. But I always like to start off with my, I think it's pronounced Natio, could be Natio, not 100% sure, but it's a natural vitamin E moisturizing cream for all skin types. The reason I love this moisturizer is it's super nourishing for the skin, but it doesn't leave like a residue. It just soaks in so nicely. I can't stand moisturizers that leave a film on your skin if I'm going to put makeup on. Like if it's nighttime, I don't care how thick it is, how it feels on the skin, but when it's daytime wear, I need something light that's going to really soak into my skin and give it that nourishment it needs. Next up, I use the Tarte Marijuka C Brighter Eye Treatment under my eyes. It's a really nice thick eye cream. Just pretend that didn't happen. So as I was saying, it is a really nice thicker consistency eye cream. I don't know if it necessarily really brightens my under eyes or not. I can't really tell myself personally. However, it does leave them super hydrated, and that skin under your eyes is super sensitive, very fragile, so you need to look after it, and you should use an under eye cream just to help hydrate that part of your face. You don't want to use your normal moisturizers up under your eyes because it's just super sensitive there. So definitely invest in eye cream. This one is amazing. Would highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Feels good. I like it a lot. So after I've let that sink in for like a good 10 minutes, I go in with my MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus water. I love spritzing my face with this. I've loved this now for a good 2 years or plus at least. I probably purchased about 20 bottles of it. I'm obsessed. A lot of people tend to use it more so as a finishing spray, but honestly, I way prefer it as like its intended use. It is obviously a multi-purpose use. I need to sneeze. Far out, that was a big sneeze. Whew. Okay, I think I'm under control. So what was I saying? Oh, I was saying it is a multi-use product, so you can use it so many different ways. You don't just have to use it obviously as a priming skin spray. However, I feel like that, I'm pretty sure, was its #1 intended use for the product as a skin prepping product. Just gives your skin a really nice hydration boost, and I just feel like my makeup goes on so much nicer. And in saying that, even on days when I'm not wearing makeup, I always moisturize, let it sink in, then I spritz the shit out of my face with this because it is just life in a bottle. I love it. It is so good. Then next up, I take my favorite primer, and it is the Benefit Porefessional Matte Rescue Primer. I absolutely love this stuff. So I find in summer, I'm definitely much more oily. I have a very oily forehead. So the bottom of my face can tend to be a little bit dry, but I've started just using this all over my face in the warmer months when my skin sort of needs that help to stay that little bit more matte throughout the day. Now on to foundation. So if you've been following me for a while, you would already know it's the Makeupforever Ultra HD Foundation. I love this stuff so much that I actually keep it in my collection in 3 different shades. So I have my lightest shade for when I'm not fake tan, and that is Y235. It is amazing. Then I have my in-between tan shade, which is 120 Y245, so it's when I've got more of a lighter tan. Then when I'm super fake tan, I use Y255. So I feel like these are all, I'm pretty sure they're just 1 shade different in the range, but they're all the yellow based foundations. Now at the moment I do have on the Loving Tan ultra dark tan, and I don't usually wear this tan. I tend to stick to the 2 Hour Express tan in dark. I find this has much more of an olive undertone compared to the 2 Hour Express on my skin. I feel like the 2 Hour Express on my skin definitely gives off more of a yellow undertone. So this might not match me incredibly perfectly today. I felt like in my last video I was watching it back and I could see my face was definitely more yellow and my body is definitely more olive. Even though it looks yellow as shit right now, when you compare the 2 colors, it definitely looks more olive, but this isn't my usual fake tan. I don't generally wear this very often, so we're just gonna roll with it. But this is my favorite foundation. It's very much a medium coverage, but it has a lot of pigment. It has a very natural finish, so it dries down to like not a super matte finish, but not a dewy finish. It's just right in between. So I generally use about 3 pumps, which I pumped out onto this just earlier, as you would have seen in the clips. And I use my Sigma 3D HD blender. It is dirty. It's only once dirty, like, as in like I washed it yesterday and used it, so it's not like 3 months worth of foundation, don't worry. If you're not washing your blenders like every 2 uses, girl, you need to, because these carry a lot of bacteria, like especially if you get acne and stuff, like you want to be washing it daily if you get acne breakouts. Like, I mean, I probably should because I've got some blemishes right now, but I like to just use my finger and I tap it into the actual foundation and then I tap it on my face. I don't like dipping my blender straight into the puddle of foundation because it'll soak up so much product and it's just an absolute waste. I couldn't figure out like why I was using so much foundation once upon a time, and it's just because like you just really shouldn't dab your blender straight into it. It also makes cleaning it a lot harder because so much product gets soaked into it. So I always start in sections on my face. I tend to do one side, the other side, then my forehead, and I just dot it everywhere, as you can see, and then I go in and blend. I might actually just do half of my face so you guys can see the difference in coverage. So that is just one layer of the Ultra HD foundation. As you can see, it does a really good job of covering. Like I said, it has super great pigmentation. I love it so much. It's such a good product. And what I generally do is I'll do one thin layer over my entire face, and then if I have any areas like on this side of my face where I have that sort of patch of red pigmentation, I will add a little bit more extra foundation to those sort of areas. Then I leave my under eyes relatively blank for concealer because I don't like putting foundation then concealer, because the concealer I use is full as fuck coverage, girlfriend. So let's just even out my face. So next up it's time to conceal, and I like to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral. Now this stuff is super duper full coverage. Like I'm talking crazy full coverage. Like when I first got it, I didn't know if I liked it because I just didn't know how to work with it because I've never used a concealer as full coverage as this stuff. Like it is crazy. So I always start off by blending my forehead first, then I do my chin, just using my 3D sponge again from Sigma. So now all the cream products are in place, I like to go ahead and set my face, and I always start off with my under eyes, and I like to use the Mineralize Skin Finish by MAC in the shade Light. It is the perfect color. Now it is like actually a skin finish shade, so it's like a foundation powder. Let me just brush, and I like to use the Sigma Tapered F35 brush to actually apply it. Now the reason I like using an actual pigmented powder is I find translucent powders under my eyes tend to actually make my under eyes go darker, which is really frustrating because I want them to be brighter. So if you find that you have that issue, definitely try something like the Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC. It's a very beautiful, fine, soft powder, so it doesn't like cause creasing or cakiness under your eyes whatsoever. So it's a great product to actually put under them. And I set the tops of my lids with it too. And then I usually set between my brows and just above my brows with it, and also down on my chin, just sort of like around my mouth. Now next up for my overall face powder, I have a new favorite. It is the Cover FX Pressed Mineral Foundation in the shade G Plus 40. So this is a new shade range. Apparently myself and the other girls that got to attend the recent Cover FX launch are the first ones to try these powders in this particular shade range, in the plus range. So that's so exciting. So it's just like a really great shade for when I'm fake tan. So usually I used to use the medium in the Skin Finish by MAC, but I think I like this powder a little bit more. So I'm going to use this smaller F10 brush today just because I've just been liking a smaller brush to set my face. I don't know why, just have. Because sometimes I use this brush for bronzing, not usually for face powders, but I've been digging it. So that's what I'm going to use today. So this will give a little bit more coverage to your foundation and also a little bit more color as well. So if you're not into pigment on pigment, then just use a translucent powder. All right, guys, I'm feeling super full coverage, loving it so much. So the next step is to bronze, and my current favorite bronzer is Benefit's Hoola Lite. I can't even explain to you guys how much I love this bronzer. I was not expecting to like it as much as I do. When I looked at it in the pan, I was like, oh, it's not going to be dark enough. Like, I did not think this shade would be dark enough to be able to build up a nice contour with or be super bronzy with. So I thought it would be like really great for super light complexions. But sister, like, even when I'm more in this medium sort of skin tone of things, it's amazing. I love it. If you guys haven't tried it, definitely pick it up. If you're in the light to medium complexion, you're gonna love it. So I'm gonna go in with my small contour F05 brush, favorite contouring brush. This thing is everything. It does like all the work for you because it's so nice and small. It just deposits the product exactly where you want it to be. So it is my favorite contouring brush. So I just go in and pat some product on the brush and then just pat it onto my face. Can you guys see how beautifully it builds? It just builds so lovely. So if you want like more of a harsher contour or like super bronzy face, you can achieve it with this. You just have to build it up. Like, check it out. Oh, I love it. And around the jaw. I could, no joke, bathe in this blush. I just love it so much. It's so pretty. If you guys haven't tried it, get it. So good. Now when it comes to highlighters, I've been reaching for two highlighters at the moment. The first is a Dandelion Skin Twinkle. Now this is more of a natural blush, so it's super gorgeous on the cheeks, but it's definitely much more subtle. So if I just want to do something a bit more minimal, then this is the one I reach for. I love it. It's beautiful. It has gorgeous undertones. It kind of has like sort of like peachy pinky undertones. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a champagne-y peachy pink color. Yeah, but it's either that or my Anastasia and Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit, and I love the shade Glow Getter, which is this one here. It is so beautiful. It is definitely more of a glittery highlighter. I've had other people say they didn't like it because it was glittery. I actually personally love it. Like, it's not chunky glitter either. Like, it's very beautiful, finely milled. So I do agree it is definitely what I would consider glittery, but it's like nice glitter in my opinion. So let's just whack some of that on my cheekbones. And I tend to like bring it down sort of to the tops of my cheeks a little bit too. I don't know if that's a normal thing to do or not. I just like how it looks, especially with this highlight. Oh, it's just so pretty. So next up, I'm going to move on to brows. Now, I did have them freshly tinted during the week, so they don't really need too much filling in. So when it's a day like that, I generally go in with my Precisely My Brow Pencil and also the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. So it's better to use the Goof Proof if you want to sort of give some fill to them in the middle, and then it's great to use the Precisely My Brow Pencil to sort of neaten them up and for hair stroke like lines. So I'm going to start off with the Goof Proof, and that's in shade 3. I'm just going to brush through my brows and just add a little bit of color where I have some little patcheroonies. So this brow is pretty good. This brow really has no patches. It's just this one's a little bit patchy. I find brows really hard to do on camera. Not gonna lie. And then I go in with the Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3. So next up, I'm going to be taking the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 3. Now I realized I've been using this wrong this whole time. I was like always using it really sparingly, but they say you should actually like really brush it through your brows, like even brush it through backwards if you're looking to give more fullness and put in more of the fibers, because this product has like tiny little fibers in it to create the illusion of thicker brows. So I have really been enjoying using it like a bit more heavily handed. So if you have really sparse patchy brows that you want to make look like fuller, definitely give this a go in conjunction with some of the other products as well. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my brows. I was about to say brassiers, but your brows aren't your brassiers, obviously. And then lastly, it's time for mascara. So my holy grail is the Maybelline Colossal Volume Express in black. This is just such a great mascara. It's obviously super affordable. It's really good. It separates my lashes, lengthens them. It's just a great product. I always end up going back to this one, but I do also really love Benefit's Their Real Mascara. I find that it's not as separating as the Maybelline one, but it still is a really great mascara. It's actually super long wearing too, very hard to get off, so you need to use like eye makeup remover to get this one off. But today I'm going to use the Maybelline one just because it's like, it really is my #1 holy grail mascara. So I'm just going to use it. And I've actually had a lash lift recently. So usually my eyelashes like point straight down, but I had a lash lift, which is essentially a lash perm. So like how you get your hair permed curly, well, it's like a perm for your lashes to make them sit up more. And then on an everyday basis, I generally just wear lip glosses. I either wear a lip balm or a lip gloss, and my favorite #1 lip gloss of all time is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Creamy Peach Oil Lip Gloss. These are super duper nourishing. They make my lips very hydrated, very smooth, and they just wear nicely throughout the day. I don't generally like to wear lipsticks like all day long. Like if I wear a lipstick, it's either for an event that's like a couple of hours or it's for a video. Ultimately, I like to wear lip glosses. They are my #1 favorite, which I know not a lot of people love lip glosses these days. Like I swear, like whenever I talk to people like, oh, I'm not really a gloss girl. I'm like, what? I love gloss. But this is in the shade Peach Fuzz, which I think is the lightest one out of all of the shades they stock. So this is it, guys. This is a finished makeup look. It's my go-to foundation routine and also my go-to everyday makeup. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching to the very end. I really appreciate it. I'd love to know in the comment section if you've tried any of these products, what you think of them too. What are some of your everyday like holy grail go-to products? I always love hearing your recommendations and suggestions too, so please do comment them below. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll be talking to you guys really soon. Bye!